Laser sights enhance and maintain your accuracy in a time of crisis, preventing tunnel vision and allowing quick target acquisition in awkward shooting positions. Crimson Trace, making laser sight standard equipment. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, a Massachusetts gun rights group battling against their Attorney General's recent directive on semi-auto rifles, plus the importance of a good concealed carry setup, your range reports, and more. Call in now at 866-825-5486 or 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
Oh yeah, going to be a full show today. Tom Gresham here. We're going to be talking about guns, your guns, my guns, the things that we buy, the things we put on them, the ammo that we shoot in them, the scopes, etc., etc. In case you have not looked at the calendar, it's the last day of July as I'm talking to you. August comes tomorrow, actually tonight at midnight. That means that hunting seasons are right around the corner. Is your gear ready? Are you ready? Do you have the right ammo? Do you have the scope that you wanted? Did you put your gun away at the end of the season and say, yeah, it's not quite right, but I'll get to that? Well, now's when you need to be getting to it, whatever it is. Clean it, shoot it, practice with it. We'll talk about that a good bit as we go along. If you're thinking about buying a new gun for the hunting season, now might be the right time. It's a really good time to buy guns. The prices are not crazy yet. I was in a gun store this week. Surprise, surprise, right? Talking to somebody who says, hey, it's kind of like, I don't really want to tell everybody, but wow, our sales are up. Yeah, I'm not really surprised. Sales are up, especially ARs. People walking in. Interesting story. People walk in and say, I want to buy an AR. Do you have any? And they're looking at 2 on the counter and 3 behind the counter, and they don't know what an AR is. They don't recognize it. They just want an AR. What is going on here? Something's going on here. When people walk in and say, I want to buy a modern sporting rifle, I want to buy an AR-15 from somebody, they don't even know who. They never shot one. They may have never seen one, but they want one. I did an interview on a radio show this week. I get called and asked to be on radio shows. It was not a gun show, it was an outdoors show. And the host said they had never seen, I think what they said was they had never actually seen an AR-15 being fired. These are hunters, big-time serious hunters, and couldn't quite figure out what all the deal was with ARs. And I had to go through the whole deal of, well, just because you don't use them doesn't mean a lot of people don't. I mean, like millions of people use them for hunting, recreational shooting, et cetera, et cetera. And you go through the drill and you realize, here we go again. With hunters saying, well, gee, I don't know why anybody, and fill in the blank. Not getting that we're all in the same boat. We are in this boat together. Oh, good Lord. All you have to do is look at and listen to the speakers at the Democratic National Convention and how they rail about modern sporting rifles, how they rail about the most popular guns being made in America today that are generally used almost entirely by law-abiding people, and yet they want to ban them because some people are criminals and misuse them. Wow. And then, of course, I love the word conflate. They conflate things. That means they want to confuse you by combining 2 things that really shouldn't be together. They conflate suicides with murders, and all of a sudden it's, 30,000 people die by guns. Well, 60% of them kill themselves. And we know that substitution is a factor. We know that, for instance, in Japan, where there are essentially no guns, they have twice the suicide rate that we do here. So clearly guns are not necessary for suicide, right? And yet they have to combine that in there because it makes no sense otherwise. Their numbers don't add up. But for those who are thinking, well, gee, guns aren't really an issue. in this election, I'll have at least two good examples in just a minute. Because I still hear people say, well, she couldn't. This is an echo from 8 years ago when they said the exact same thing about Obama. She can't do anything about gun control without getting Congress involved. Really? Never heard of the term executive order. Well, we just got one executive order, and we just got, a new definition of gun manufacturing that very well may put all gunsmiths out of business. And we just had a great example in a couple of states of arbitrary laws being put in when nobody voted on them. Not the people, not the legislature. One person in the state says, you know what? I think this should be a law. I think we should ban these guns. Boom, did it. You don't like it? Sue me. I'll have all of that and more, and also looking for your comments, your thoughts. If you're thinking about buying a gun, by all means, give me a holler, whether it's for self-defense, target shooting, hunting. I can help you through the process. Our number is 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. That'll get you in here. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk.
Want to customize the look of your firearm and give it ultimate durability? Well, don't paint it, Cerakote it. Cerakote is a spray-on ceramic polymer coating that uses state-of-the-art technology to achieve superior abrasion resistance and corrosion protection. Field-proven and trusted by manufacturers and gun owners like you, Cerakote is the industry's unmatched performance leader. In lab testing and real-world applications, Cerakote outperforms the competition every time. See for yourself and find a local certified applicator near you at Cerakote.com. Choose the best. Choose Cerakote and finish strong.
Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at shopguntalk.com. Get prepared. Shopguntalk.com.
As we celebrate 2 centuries in Remington country, it's humbling to think about all the ground we've covered. Since the infancy of our nation, we've journeyed with you every step of the way, helping shape the course of American history. Remington country is bigger than a place, and for the 200 years, it's been our highest honor supporting your freedoms and your way of life. To celebrate, Remington is giving away 200 guns. For a chance to win, tell us your story at 200sweepstakes.remington.com.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
Bigfoot gun belts, made with legendary leather and quality craftsmanship, are built to support the full weight of even the heaviest handgun. With a spring steel core embedded between 2 layers of rich English bridle leather, you'll never deal with a sagging belt ever again. Each gun belt is handmade with the blood, sweat, and beards of dedicated, skilled Pacific Northwest belt makers. Capture your gun belt for as low as $54.88 at BigfootGunBelts.com.
All right, back with you. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in here for a gun or a question, or just think about going out and doing a little shooting. We can help you with that too. There are so many things to talk about. So many things going on. I understand this is hard to get into because I have so many good friends out there who take what are clearly principled stands on this election. And they say, I don't like Trump, I don't like Clinton, so I'm going to go another way. Okay, I understand that. I also understand that third party Gary Johnson is the Ross Perot of this election. He will get Hillary elected. And some say, well, but, there's no but. This is a place for grown-ups. This is a place to pull up your big boy pants. There are only two choices. It's binary. It's going to be one or the other. Nobody else is going to win. But I want to send a message. Call Western Union. But no, there's no but. As the philosopher Mick Jagger put it, you can't always get what you want. And I don't care if it's not what you want. Because, and yes, and I get the emails, and yes, I get the comments on Twitter. You know, you're selling out. No, I kind of think of it as being a bit of a grown-up. You got to see things for the way they are, not for the way you wish they were. Now, if you would like to convince me otherwise, I would be happy to hear that. Lines are open, 866-TALK-GUN. Pretty clear when you think about it. Two conventions. At the Trump convention, Republican convention, one of the speakers is Chris Cox, the head of the Institute for Legislative Action, the lobbying arm from the NRA. The NRA, the National Rifle Association, featured speaker at the Trump convention. At the Hillary convention, we have the gun ban groups. And we have Hillary making sure that in every speech, she's hammering gun rights. And you, gun owners, you. And talk about how we banned guns before, but we had to have a sunset on them. But we're going to do it again. And the Supreme Court got it wrong when they said you have an individual right to own a gun. We're going to get that fixed. We're going to stack the courts. Boy, they've been doing that, haven't they? We're going to stack the Supreme Court. We're going to get it corrected. We're going to make sure that there is no right to keep and bear arms. I know people, I love it. People say, well, they can't get rid of the Second Amendment. No, they're not going to repeal the Second Amendment. They're just going to get the court to say the Second Amendment actually says that you can have a gun only if you are in active military. That would be National Guard or active military. I sat there at the 5th District Court of Appeals, 5th Circuit Court of Appeals, in the Emerson case, and listened to a United States Department of Justice lawyer tell a 3-judge panel no one in this country has a right to own a gun. And the judges, they looked over and said, excuse me? And one of them said, well, are you saying that in order to have gun rights, I have to be a member of the National Guard? And the Justice Department lawyer said, oh, no, sir. It says, being in the National Guard doesn't give you the right to own a gun either. All it means is that you can have the gun that's issued to you by the National Guard, but it doesn't mean you get to own a gun. I'm not making this up. I sat there and I listened to it. You could have heard a pin drop. It was like the air got sucked out of the courtroom when the DOJ lawyer said no one in this country has a right to own a gun. Now, we move forward. You got the Heller decision out of the Supreme Court. Justice Scalia wrote it and said, an individual right to own a gun has nothing to do with being in a militia. That is currently the law of the land, but it's being chipped away at with lower court decisions and each of them is taking a little piece out and, well, it doesn't really mean that, and it doesn't really mean that, and they didn't really say that. And so it's getting weaker and weaker and weaker every year. And Hillary says, well, that's not good enough. We have to fix this. We have to fix the Heller decision. And you can go listen to the recording. The Supreme Court got it wrong on the Second Amendment. Those are her exact words. And then on the other side, you got Donald Trump. He brings in the NRA. I don't know. What am I missing? Are there people who actually think that Gary Johnson can be elected president? Are there people who can't do the math and look at it that when you do a head-to-head, the and you throw in the third party, Gary Johnson, takes away from Trump's votes. It helps get Hillary elected. I don't know. It's clear to me, and I'm just curious as to how that is not clear to others. By the way, check your email. If you are on the True Squad, if you're a member of the True Squad, you should be getting an email alert today. We have an action item, a thing for you to do. People say, what can I do? Here's one. You can get smart and do good at the same time. That's pretty cool. John Lott has a brand new book out. Actually, it starts for sale tomorrow. You can pre-order it today, but you can order it on Amazon tomorrow. It's called The War on Guns, Arming Yourself Against Gun Control Lies. Good book, tons of information in it. Of course, it's John Lott. He's quite the researcher. But here's the thing. Here's where the action item comes in. During the first week of sales, especially the first several days, the number of books sold are added up, and a book moves up the list of the Amazon bestsellers. People, media, pay attention to which books are the best sellers. If we could get, 5,000, 10,000 of these books sold in the first week, all of a sudden we have a book about gun rights, a positive book about gun rights that's making news. Besides, you get a great book. It's called The War on Guns, Arming Yourself Against Gun Control Lies by John Lott. Definitely something that you might want. Now, I put out a tweet earlier today. By the way, if you're not on Twitter, boy, you're missing out. Just follow me. I am at Gun Talk on Twitter. It's where I put so much more information than we can possibly get on the air here. I put links to articles and reference material. It's the thing that I call the intellectual ammunition. When you have ammunition for your arguments, for your debates, for your conversations, i.e., you have knowledge, you have background, you have studies that you can go to and back it up. People say, how do you know that? Well, here's how you know it, because this was studied by XYZ, so and so and so, and here's the link to it. Oh, okay. Are you aware that more people are killed in this country with fists and feet than they are with rifles, much less semi-auto rifles? Semi-auto rifles essentially make up such a small percentage as to be almost statistically insignificant. But they do get a lot of press. So let's ban something on the basis of press reports. Oh, wait, that doesn't make any sense either. So you can get all this information. So on Twitter, I put out this morning a link to an article I would suggest, if you possibly can, you read. It was written by Massad Ayoob, our good friend. And Massad is one of the better, no, it's not enough. He is one of the best gun writers in the country. He's a clear thinker. He presents his information clearly. He researches things. And this one is going to get some attention because it's essentially talking about how one person carrying a gun can make a difference in a terrorist attack. Already I can hear people go, really? But here's the thing. It's not I think someone with a gun can make a difference. It's, okay, let me cite you a half a dozen times it's happened this year. Say what? Yeah. A half a dozen times this year. Someone with a gun has stopped a terrorist in the middle of an attack. Now, they're not all in the U.S., although some of them are in the U.S. A lot of them are from Israel, where a lot of people carry guns all the time. And some of the terrorists, and this is the thing I would like to throw out there for you to be considering. You've heard me say this before. Some of the terrorists are women. With knives, with guns, with whatever. And I often quote Clint Smith, who I think is one of the better thinkers on this, one of the best instructors in the country, where he says, I can tell you a lot of things. I can tell you how to shoot. I can tell you an awful lot of things. He said, but I cannot tell you what the threat is going to look like. Can't tell you if the threat's going to be tall or short, fat or skinny. Can't tell you what color your attacker is going to be. Can't tell you if this attacker is going to be clothed or naked. Can't tell you if it's going to be male or female. Can't tell you if it's going to be old or very young. Could be 14. When you think you know what your attacker will look like, you handicap yourself. Consider that. Put it in your mind, boom, this is what my attacker's going to look like, okay? Now, if the person does not look like that, you will take time to recalibrate. What? No, that's not right. That's a long time to figure out that this female is the one who is stabbing people or hacking at them with a machete. So it's just, this is all part of what I've talked about before, is making yourself a student, figuring it all out, saying, changing your way of thinking. And you do that by preparing yourself for the what ifs, for the options, for the forks in the road, for the things you don't think are going to happen. And you can only do that by exposing yourself to people who think about this all the time, either by taking good classes, which I strongly recommend, or by reading a lot about it, or by listening to gun talk, or by talking with people who have been there, done that. But you can't do it by bouncing around on online forums where, if you're lucky, only half the people are idiots, and half of the ones that are left don't really know what they're talking about, but they're repeating what they've been told on and on and on. The 380 is no good for self-defense. Really? Really? Bueller. I mean, come on. Maybe 40 years ago. Maybe 40 years ago. Maybe. Not now. Make yourself a promise. And here's the thing. It's not for you. It's for your family, for your wife, your husband, your children, for the people who love you. If you are smart, if you are capable, if you are prepared, you can not only be alive yourself, but you can maybe save them. What are your thoughts? 866-TALK-GUN. This is Gun Talk. Be right back.
Sign up for our Gun Talk newsletter and join the Truth Squad at www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk with Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
Back with you, 866-TALK-GUN. We'll get to you in just a second. I do want to point out several things that happened in the last few days. In fact, later on in the show, we'll be talking about what happened in Massachusetts. We have the Attorney General just deciding, no, I know that's not the law, but I want it to be the law, so I'm going to make it the law. I'm just going to say it is. And I'm going to ban a whole bunch of guns that have been legal up to right now. No vote, no bill, no citizen involvement, no citizen input, no legislature. Just one person says, no, that's not what I want. I want all these guns to be banned, and so starting tomorrow, anybody who sells them, we will put you in jail. Boom. Done. We'll talk about that. Now, here's another one. You ever take your gun into a gunsmith? Had the barrel threaded so that you could put a suppressor on it or a muzzle brake on it? You ever taken a rifle in and had it rechambered? Or even just had the throat cleaned up a little bit in the barrel? Well, now the United States government has decided that the person who's doing that work, your local friendly gunsmith, is not a gunsmith anymore. This person's a firearm manufacturer. And because they're regulating the import and export of guns under the international law, your gunsmith will have to pay $2,250 a year and apply for the license to be a firearms manufacturer for doing basic gunsmith work. Yes, I know it's stupid. Yes, I know it makes no sense. But here's the thing, and it makes my point. For those who say, well, Obama can't do anything about guns without the Congress acting, really? How about let's put almost all gunsmiths out of business? Oh, a lot of people are selling guns? Well, we could put gun stores out of business if we could kill off the gunsmithing business. Oh, I see. No vote, no bill, no Congress. And of course, if your gunsmith decides to put up with this crap and gets the license and pays the money, he or she has to charge more for gunsmithing. And of course, a lot of them are going to say, I'm not doing this anymore. And they're going to get out of the business. So there'll be fewer people offering gunsmith services. So the prices go up even further and the waits go up to get work done. Oh, but you see, that could never happen because that would require an act of Congress to change the law. Would that were true. But in this case, no. So you get to pick the administration. Because the administration, the White House could turn around and say, stop that. Knock that off. I will fire you. You will no longer be head of this agency. Knock it off. And they'll just undo it. Do you really think that a Hillary Clinton administration is going to do anything other than clamp down on and try to ban as many guns and stop as many gun sales as possible? Yeah, good point. So much for caring about small business, entrepreneurship. Put them out of business. Of course, this is the candidate, Hillary Clinton, says we're going to put all the coal miners out of business. Then it goes, oops, did I say that out loud? Oh, darn shucks. There you go. John is in Salt Lake City on line 2. Hey, John, you're on Gun Talk.
Hi, Tom. I'm interested in either the Ruger Takedown or the Henry A7. Any advice?
Ruger 1022 Takedown?
Yes.
Okay, because they have a Takedown AR-15 also. You're talking about the 1022 Takedown. Oh, you already have one. Great. What is your plan? Because those are two pretty different guns. The Henry AR-7, of course, came from the Armalite AR-7, and it's a cute little gun. It's not the most accurate 22 going, and the cute part about it is it takes apart and it floats, and it's a good survival rifle. But if you really want to shoot a gun a lot and you want accuracy, I would definitely go to the Ruger.
That's the information I'm after.
There you go. And, nobody's ever been unhappy that they bought a 1022. You could also accessorize the devil out of, which is also fun. So I would definitely go that way, unless there's a particular need to have a little bitty survival gun that doesn't get shot much and gets stuck back and it floats in case you go down on a float plane. Okay, I get it. So there you go. Thanks, John. Appreciate that. Line 1, Steen is with us out of Laurel, Mississippi. Hello, Steen.
Hey, Tom. Thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to say that I believe, and this is me, that the people who are backing Gary Johnson financially and many ways we probably don't know are probably some of the same people who are backing Hillary Clinton. We're supposed to learn from our mistakes, as in Perot. And this is a lady who will do anything to win, so I wouldn't put it past her to back an alternate candidate because she knows what will happen.
Yeah. I think you're right about that. It's, you never know. You don't know if that's actually going to, if that is enemy action, we call it sometimes, of, has someone decided that they're going to help back Gary Johnson as a way of helping Hillary Clinton? Hard to know, but, at the same time, who's to say it's not true? It very well could be. So, look, I appreciate the call. 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. 866-TALK-GUN. We'll be right back with more Gun Talk.
Brownells has always given you an advantage. With their huge selection of forever guaranteed gun parts, ammunition, shooting accessories, and more. And now, they're offering you the Edge. For just $49.95, Brownells Edge covers your standard shipping and any return shipping cost for 1 year. Brownells Edge members also receive discount expedited shipping and exclusive offers. Get the edge today by visiting brownells.com/edge.
Fans of Slip 2000 EWL gun lubricant will want to try EWL 30 this summer. The thicker EWL 30 sits up, migrates less, stays wetter longer, and will not dry out. Perfect for long-term storage. It also holds up better in hotter conditions while still providing the excellent high round count performance you have come to expect from the original EWL. Slip 2000. We're all about gun care. Learn more at slip2000.com.
If you carry a gun, you need training. Your concealed carry class was definitely not training. But time, money, and obligations keep you from spending days at a shooting school. The trusted folks at Gun Talk can help. Concealed Carry 1, our DVD featuring the VADA Group, covers what gun, what holster, how to carry, where to wear your gun, and much more. Visit shopguntalk.com. That's shopguntalk.com. Look, this really is life and death. Learn how to stay aware, how to get away, and how to fight if you must. At shopguntalk.com, you can get the 2 DVD set, including Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. No matter what gun you carry, this vital training info can save your life. Learn the draw, the stance, reloading, vital gear from Gun Talk. That's shopguntalk.com. Shopguntalk.com.
In the war on terror, fighting crime in the streets, in competition and homes around the world, one name in firearms stands out: Sig Sauer. Our pistols and rifles are renowned for their unfailing performance. This same commitment to excellence can be found in our line of SigTac accessories and the training offered by the Sig Sauer Academy. For unmatched quality, reliability, and innovation when it counts, choose Sig Sauer. Visit sigsauer.com today.
We love giving away stuff, so we're going to give away some stuff, okay? Let's see, a couple of things. One is, this is your last day to go to the Knife Rights website, kniferights.org, and enter the Ultimate Steel giveaway, and make a donation if you can while you're there. I think we have 175 different things there. I mean, things like the Ruger Precision Rifle with a great scope, with a suppressor ready to go. Incredible custom-made knives from some of the finest knife makers in the country. You just won't believe it. And it's called the Ultimate Steel, S-T-E-E-L, steel as a knife, get it? Giveaway. Go to kniferights.org, and that will get you there. Also, of course, last day, go to guntalk.com/win, W-I-N, and enter for a chance to win this super prize from Crimson Trace. It is a gun sight 250 class, the special 250 class with lasers with Crimson Trace for 2 people. Pay your way, pay the class, pay the whole deal. 2 people, gun sight, the Harvard of gunfighting schools. This is the last day. It ends tomorrow. Go there, guntalk.com/win. Also, you can find Gun Talk shows on Roku and Amazon Fire Players. Oh. In case you didn't know, we're actually putting stuff on there that has never been seen anywhere else. We're putting bloopers, outtakes, trailers, funny stuff, just things we go out and shoot, things that, the kind of thing that there's really no other place to put it. And some of it's just laugh out loud funny. I mean, there's just goofy stuff that happens when we're out on a shoot, especially get an all-day shoot and it's hot and everybody's tired and you get goofy at the end of the day, and you never know. And Chris Reno is one of the funniest guys out there, so you definitely want to catch up on some of that if you'd like to get involved with that. Again, just check it out. It's on our YouTube channel as well as on Roku and Amazon Fire. Soon to come, Apple TV, not too long from now. Oh, yeah, if you have the Gun Dealio, if you've got an iPhone, uninstall it, reinstall it. If you have an Android, just update it, and you'll get the latest version. So there you go. Line 4, Dale, Houghton, Louisiana. Hey, Dale.
Yes, sir. How you doing? Glad to be on your fine program. The reason I was calling was I would be interested in seeing a fundamental vocabulary change when we talk about the AR-15s and the AK-47s that civilians use, because the gun control people call theirs an assault weapon, and they're calling guns that name that aren't really assault weapons. That's the background. Now, what I would like to see is, the guns that we use that are for defense, I would like to see them called either a counter assault weapon or an assault defense weapon. In fact, no, scratch the word weapon. A counter assault firearm or a assault defense firearm. And then further, I would like to see this every time we ever talk about a mugging or a criminal act where somebody is assaulted with a firearm, call it an assault, because that's exactly what it is. And then we match up. We are defending ourselves with a counter-assault weapon. We're defending against an assault because we're dealing. That's what we're dealing with.
I know where you're going with that. It's trying to change the vocabulary, and we have tried many times. Our problem is this, Dale, is that, and look, I've been doing this for 20-plus years, and I've been working on trying to get people to stop using certain words and start using the words that work. Our guys won't do it, but beyond that, the media is implicit. They're involved in this. They're partisans. And so they like using provocative terms. They like using words that move this toward more gun control. You can't get them to not. And then we can't even get the cops to use the right terms. They'll say, he was using an assault weapon. Well, actually, no, he wasn't. Not by any definition. But everything now that looks like it becomes an assault weapon, and then the media parrots it, and it's like trying to put out a massive fire with a squirt gun. I know what you're saying, and I get it, and I am absolutely on board with it. I'm just telling you, it is difficult. It's why, and look, I appreciate the call. It's why the industry calls them modern sporting rifles, MSRs, instead of AR-15s, because to emphasize the fact that these are, in fact, sporting rifles. That's mostly what they're used for. Some competition, very occasionally for defense, but primarily the semi-automatic rifle platform is used for recreation, for sporting use. Hence the MSR, the modern sporting rifle designation. Can't get that to stick. Media won't go with it because they say, you're just trying to redefine it. That's not what it really is. Well, actually, no, that's actually what it is, what it really is. Your impression of what it's used for is so skewed as to be unrecognizable to most gun owners, people who have these rifles. I mean, these would be the rifles that are used in the national marksmanship championships. Gee, imagine that. Let's see. Justin's with us. Anchorage, Alaska, line 3. Hey, Justin, you're on Gun Talk.
Hey, Tom, how are you? Just wanted to get to the point. It's a little bit long, but I want to share with you and all the listeners something that happened to me about 2 months ago. I got a knock on the door about 7:30 at night, and we have a lot of daylight up here. So, I looked through the peephole, and it was a middle-aged lady, nice-looking lady, professional-looking. I thought maybe she might need some help. So just kind of answered the door, and through the I have a glass door, and I was looking at the lady to the glass door to see if she needed some help, and she was from the Department of Health and Human Services.
Hey, Justin, that sounds way too good. Hold on. I got to hold you over the break here because I got to hear this one. They got a lady from the Department of Health and Human Services or whatever it is at the door. Doing a survey. Oh, my goodness. I can hardly wait. Justin, don't go anywhere. This is going to be good, I know. If you'd like to join us, if you have a range report for us, kind of like this, 866-TALK-GUN. If there's a gun you're thinking about buying, by all means, give us a shout. We'd love to hear that. Again, 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham. You're listening to Gun Talk. All right, we're talking with Justin in Anchorage, Alaska. Now, Justin, when we left you, You had a knock at the door. You go to the door. You look out there. There's a lady there, and she's taking a survey. Who is she from? Who's she with?
She's from the Department of Health and Human Services, and she's conducting a survey on mental health issues in the home, alcohol use, tobacco use, and drug use in the home. And what's funny as a side note is I have NFA items, and I'm a gun trust owner, and I have a friend of mine who lives about an hour away, and he's a gun trust owner as well. Just a side note. So I told the lady I wasn't interested and was polite to the lady. She says, "Can I ask you why?" And I said, "Well, I'm just not interested." And then she grabs the door handle and she makes an attempt to come through, like she's going to walk in the foyer of the house. And I said,
"Really?
What are you doing?" And she says, "I just wanted to ask you a few more questions." And I said, "Well, I'm just not interested." And then she pulls out her cell phone and she plays a video and sticks the video up to the glass door. And it's a survey asking about mental health issues and things like, alcohol, tobacco use in the house. And I said, "Ma'am, I'm just not interested. I appreciate it. If you'd take me off the list, that'd be great." So she kind of reluctantly leaves, and I shut the door. And 1 month later, almost to the date, about the same time at night, another lady, a different lady from DHHS, comes by and starts asking the same questions. And I said, "Well, I had asked you guys to take me off the list. I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't come back. I'm not interested." And I asked everybody in my neighborhood if they had been hit up by this survey too, and they said no. So they didn't even know who I was talking about. Well, what's funny is I was in the meantime, I'd called a friend of mine who lived out in the valley. We're kind of gun friends, and he said I was telling him this story. And he stopped me in the middle of the story, and he said, "Justin, I know exactly what you're talking about. They were just by my house about a week ago." And I said, "What in the world?" He said, "I smelled a rat the minute they came by."
Really? So what I think I hear you saying is they're targeting people who have NFA items. Does your buddy have NFA stuff?
He does, and we're both gun trust owners, and I just wanted to share with the listeners that DHHS is coming by at random, supposedly completely at random. And I take a class at night, a martial arts class at night, and one night I was at class, came back home, and my wife, it was about a month later, she said, "Justin, your friends were back," and they had come back a third time.
Wow. I'm going to ask you to do something. Can you hold on after we take you off the air? I want to get your personal information, if you're okay giving that to me, because I need to talk to some people about this. This is very interesting, and I agree with you. This is not random. This is being targeted. If you would, don't hang up, okay? If we could get Justin's information, I would like to do that. All right, here's my call. Has anybody else had this happen? If you have NFA items and you have a trust, have you had anybody come to your house and ask about doing a survey? Sounds like she was pretty pushy. I think maybe at the second and certainly by the third time, I would have called the police and say, "Okay, we've got a problem here, and I've got somebody pushing, trying to get into my house, and I need you to come out here right now." But I want to know if this has happened to anybody else. If you know if this has happened to you, or you know somebody who has had, supposedly, Department of Health and Human Services doing a random survey, and you just happen to have NFA, National Firearms Act items, whether or not you have a trust, please give me a call. I would like to know. Even if you don't want to be on the air, just let me know. Or you could shoot me an email, tom@guntalk.com. We'll be giving away some more stuff. I tell you what, run over to Twitter, take a look at it, and take a look at those two very cool decals, the Texas outline and the Louisiana outline with the blue line to support the cops. I've got 100 of those I'm going to be giving away. So you don't want to go far. Be right back with more Gun Talk.